Hi, this is Zach with Warner Wound. Today I'll be taking a look at the Davosa Vigo GMT watch in black. Davosa is a German brand that makes Swiss-made watches at affordable price points. And we thought they were actually a very interesting brand. They don't have the biggest presence here in the States, so they are available through a single distributor, but their watches are genuinely very attractive and very well priced. So this watch here is a GMT, as I said. It's powered by an ETA 2893-2 movement, and that is, a great workhorse ETA movement. It has a sapphire crystal steel case, very nice design, some interesting kind of vintage design, elements going on in the dial here, and it costs $850, which I think is a very fair price for a watch of these components that is well built. So let's take a closer look. The case of the Davosa Vigo has a nice medium size, so it's 40 millimeters in diameter, 46 millimeters lug to lug, about 12 millimeters thick, and has a 20 millimeter lug width, making it kind of a small to medium sized watch, but with a very kind of small lug to lug width. So it sits very nicely on the wrist, and it's definitely on the smaller side, which works well with the kind of vintage styling. I really like the proportioning actually. So looking at the case, has a very classic design, has a mix of polished and brushed finishing. So you have some brushing on the tops of the lugs here, and otherwise it's pretty much polished all the way around. But that little break just gives it, just enough kind of variation to be more appealing than just a, single finish all around. I'm looking at the crown here. You have this signed crown with a little kind of Davosa star logo on it. The crown measures 7 millimeters in diameter. I actually really like the crown because it kind of steps out from the case a little bit and is relatively thin, but it's very easy to grasp, which is nice. Flipping the case over now, you can see that it has a display case back showing you the ETA 2893-2 movement in it. The case back is screwed down. Overall, it has a very kind of a nice kind of fluid case back. The edge here is rounded and rounds into here. Just very nice presentation. Once again, on an $850 watch, so it's nice to be able to see the movement there. The dial of the Davosa Vigo is very reminiscent of certain, mid-50s Omega models, such as the Railmaster, certain Seamaster types with these, kind of large, almost shark tooth triangle hour markers, and then the 12369 numerals. It's actually a very nice dial design that you don't see too often, and has a kind of a nice mix of dress and sport, and it's just something we like to see, and also has obviously this vintage appeal. And then Davosa kind of goes an extra step to make it a little bit unique by adding this high contrast day glow orange for the numerals, which is obviously the most eye-catching detail of the dial, and one that I personally find very appealing. It just stands out and it's different. So looking in at the dial, you can see it has a black face to it, and it's actually multiple layers. So this inner index here for the dual time, which is a 24-hour index, is actually recessed a bit and has a concentric circle pattern embossed in, which you might be able to see here. The light hits in, it just creates like a nice texture, nice variation. I think that adds a lot of visual appeal to the overall dial. It is actually a fairly large dial, considering that it's a 40 millimeter case, so it has that kind of all dial presence to it, which I like, and works once again with a kind of a vintage watch. The markers all around and on the hands, they are all loomed with green and orange loom. It is relatively, it is visible at night. It's not super strong like a diver watch might have, but it is visible. Looking at the hands themselves, they are these kind of Roman sword hands, and you can see that they are split up, so the kind of triangular tip is orange, and then the rest of the body is green loom. And then the second hand is just like a steel stick shape with a longer kind of orange portion to it. And then the GMT hand is just this kind of equilateral triangle with a red outline around green. I think the hands are, they're very nice, they work very well with the dial design. On the wrist, the Vigo is a very comfortable watch to wear. Like I said, it has this kind of medium to smaller size at 40 millimeters, which I think is kind of almost an ideal size for a watch of this style. Since it's, a little bit dressier, something on the smaller side is nice, but it has some more kind of poppy, not aggressive, but sportier elements to it that make it then want to be a little bit larger. So 40 sits really well. And then, like I said, it has a 46 millimeter lug to lug width, so it doesn't, overshadow the wrist at all. I have a 7-inch wrist, so that's, on the smaller side, but this watch I think fits very nicely. It's also 12 millimeters tall, so, it, easily will fit under a shirt sleeve, which is always something worth looking for. The watch comes, so it's 20 millimeter strap, and it comes on this, croc embossed leather strap that I think actually looks quite nice with the watch. It isn't too glossy at all, so it's not, overly dressy or anything like that. It's nice and has this white contrast stitching and the Davosa sign buckle. I think you could probably try a brown to go with this too, but I think actually black is a little bit safer with the bright colors in the dial as well. The Davosa Vigo comes in this kind of this nice black gloss box. It's about the standard size for a watch display box, but I kind of just like this all black exterior that has no logo on it. Just has this little metal bar. It's a little bit mysterious and just kind of just a nice way to present the watch. And it is hard wood, so it is very protective of the watch. Flipping it open, you can see the then cream colored leather interior, the Davosa logo on the back, and it just it presents the watch here very, very nicely. So to just kind of sum things up, I think the Vigo at $850 for a Swiss-made watch with an ETA 2893-2 GMT or dual time movement is a really good value. And adding to that also is just a great build quality, an interesting kind of vintage look that the watch has with a slight kind of unique twist of these bright orange 12369 numerals on it, giving it just a little bit of something unique. Overall, just wearing it's very comfortable, very nice size. It's just a very pleasant watch to wear. So if you're looking for a more affordable dual time watch, I think this definitely could be an option for you. Once again, this is just Zach of Worn and Wound. Please read the full review when you get a chance, and follow us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter.